The holiday season may seem far away, but it's never too early to get in the buying game.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that, but I do agree with this. If you're going to go shopping, you might as well save a couple of bucks.
Yes.
We've got shopping expert Julie Loffredi with us, and you're going to share some tips on money and time saving out there for the holiday season.
And first up, set that budget now.
Really?
The average shopper spends about, can you guess? Around $800. But
Okay.
it's very easy to overspend. So if you set that budget, and also try to pay cash if you can. If you use your cards, pay them off. Those interest rates can really get you in the end.
When you say set a budget, do you mean set an overall budget or a per person budget? Do you say, okay,
I was
for
gonna say
Uncle
that.
Tim is going to get a $10 gift?
Yep.
And
It's a great question. It really is, it depends on your list. Who are you buying for? Sometimes we spend a little bit more on the kids, and maybe the sisters and the cousins get a little bit less. But take a number and kind of break it up. So usually maybe 50 bucks per person, or for the kids $100. It's really up to you what you feel comfortable spending.
I'm getting panicked already.
It should be fun though at the same time.
but
All
you
right,
say
then
one
you
of the
said to
keys. Yeah, go ahead.
Stick to the list.
It's to stick to the list, yeah.
Stick to the list. We all do it. We overbuy. You really start getting into the holiday spirit and buy because
Yes.
there's some great sales out there. But if you stick to the list and don't go away from it, you usually end up saving money in the end because you're not buying extra.
So when you say stick to the list, so this goes hand in hand with making the budget. So I'm going to say 20 bucks for Uncle Tim or $100 for my son, and then I'm going to pick those items even now, this far in advance?
Even now, and I remember buying gifts and forgetting that I bought them. So then I end up buying more and more. So if you set that list, set your budget, you're well on your way, and you won't feel so overwhelmed about it and stressed.
And then you don't get that big bill in January. It's kind of like spread out, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Any suggestions for it? Kids are fickle. You know, so what my son or my daughter wants right now, they may not still want in
Yes,
December. What do you
yes.
do about that for
Thought about
sticking to
that.
the list?
So that's a great question. Now, all kids, I remember doing it myself. I wanted every single thing in a catalog, but then you only end up really playing with one or two of those, right? So it's important to talk to your kids and work on that Santa list together and kind of gauge what they really are going to play with and really be interested in, and maybe kind of compromise a little bit.
And they're still going to want come December because it's only October.
And then they're going to play with the box.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, right. And one other great tip, buy early.
Okay, so the smart shoppers can buy all year round and save big. A good example, leather gloves that you might pay $50 now could be $20 in February. So I stock up really early. I even wait for those post-Christmas sales where you can buy cashmere scarves half off and then just keep them in a closet. And guess what? This time next year, you will already have a bunch of your gifts.
I always think about doing it, and I never do it. Where am I going to hide it? Where am I going to put it?
Top shelf of the closet works for me, but it's something to think about, especially if you feel like you overbuy. And maybe it also works with your budget that you're spending a few $100s in the spring and you're already ahead of the game.
Right.
Last year, my wife bought Halloween decorations the first week of November, and we stored them. And we are decked out now because they were so cheap. And it was brilliant. I never would have thought of doing it, but
That's
she
a great
shopped
idea.
51 weeks in advance.
Clearly, you need the help, and your wife doesn't.
Clearly, well, these are tips for me, just to tell me that she's right, which we already knew.